Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. We've only got a few weeks left here in Season 3. Season 4 is now about 3 weeks out from launching. That'll be adding in a ton of new changes per usual, like any new seasonal update does. However, in the final few weeks of Season 3, we've got a handful of things on deck. A couple of things that we know are releasing, some other stuff we should see happen and occur, and today we're breaking down basically what to expect for the end of Season 3. As always, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it, would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new here or if you haven't already subscribed, I am always covering everything going on in COD. News, intel, updates, you name it, it's all right here. So feel free to subscribe, that way you can always stay up to date. So first and foremost, there's a handful of dates we want to keep in mind throughout this entire video pretty much. Like I said, the end of Season 3 is only a few weeks away now. As of right now, at least according to the Battle Pass countdown timer, Season 4 is set to go live around June 15th / June 16th. Usually we see these overnight updates happen like from Wednesday into Thursday for Warzone, sometimes Monday into Tuesday for Cold War, other times Tuesday into Wednesday. Basically, it's like a whole 2-day thing back to back. So that week of June 15th, that's when the current Season 3 Battle Pass is set to expire. So we can assume that week is when Season 4 is going to go live, but it could be a handful of different dates just because, like I said, we got separate updates for Cold War and separate updates for Warzone. But of course, in between then and now, we've got a handful of other updates we know for sure are happening, and that is primarily like the weekly playlist updates and game settings changes every week. We know those happen on Thursday. We of course have the one coming up this week. We also have one on the 3rd, and then also on the 10th. Then after that, that's when we'll have Season 4 going live, and we'll basically like be resetting the cycle in that sense. But between the handful of updates that we've got left, there's actually a bit of content that we know is coming, but also on top of that, there's a handful of other things that usually happen towards the end of every single season that we can expect as well. But the first main thing I want to focus on here outside of the dates is the fact that right now, all the way until June 1st, so pretty much this entire weekend, we actually have a free experience event going on for Cold War. Basically, you can play some multiplayer aspects for free. Then you can also play Outbreak for free as well. They do this usually once or twice a season. Towards the start of every season, we get like the whole free multiplayer and zombies experience. And right now, this is just sort of like a multiplayer trial. You can try out some multiplayer modes and experience some of Outbreak as well. So if you don't have Cold War, if you want to try some stuff out, be sure to jump on. You can grind out some things over this weekend. Now, of course, a super easy way to tell what content we still have left for this season is by looking at the roadmap. And between the original Season 3 roadmap and then also the whole like 80s Action Heroes event roadmap, or like the mid-season update roadmap or reloaded roadmap, whatever you want to call it, between that, we honestly don't really have that much left. Of course, we've already seen all the multiplayer maps and all the multiplayer content for Cold War specifically dropped, so everything exclusive to Cold War is pretty much already here for that. Same deal with all the zombies content as well. We've already got the Warzone map updates from the roadmap and all that stuff, all the operators. Really, the only thing that we're missing here is the AMP-63 fully automatic pistol, and technically for Warzone, the baseball bat as well, but it has already been confirmed that the baseball bat is going to be releasing for Warzone in Season 4. Kind of strange that it's a split release, but that's pretty much the way the cookie crumbled here. But when it comes to the AMP-63, as of right now, we don't have an official date for it. Obviously, it did not drop this week. It also wasn't previewed this week, so it wasn't really expected. My next best guess would be next week's update on Thursday, just because that would put us at, I believe, the 2-week mark for the end of the season. And Call of Duty loves to do things in 2-week intervals, or at least they have in the past. Pretty much because everything going on with like everything shifting to overnight updates and whatnot, and title updates becoming less frequent over the course of the past year or so. They've sort of shifted away from that in some regards, but as far as end season content goes, usually they don't do anything too crazy in terms of content up until like the last minute. So I think next week is probably the best week, the best chance for the AMP-63 to drop. So we can effectively expect that to drop next week. Of course, as we get any new information on that, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. But yeah, as far as the roadmap content goes, the AMP-63 pistol is pretty much all we've got left on that. So nothing too crazy in terms of like big seasonal content. Like I said a bit ago though, obviously we are going to have the weekly updates still all the way throughout the end of the season and leading into next season. That's a no-brainer. We see this happen every single week. So of course, we're still going to have the usual playlist updates, the shop updates, and all things of that nature. And those will add in like the usual stuff. Don't really expect much out of those. But alongside those, we could end up getting some other surprise additions as well. And honestly, I say that because we just don't really have that much big name content coming towards the end of this season. And sort of as I alluded to when we talked about all the Modern Warfare content and what's going on with that a few days back, now is a very prime time for some of that potential Modern Warfare content to release. Things like the CX-9 and SOAP, those two pretty much have to drop at the same time just because the CX-9, the Sirach blueprint specifically, is included in the SOAP operator bundle. So whenever SOAP comes, you can pretty much expect the CX-9 to drop right alongside him and vice versa. So that's a potential content drop. That one, I think, is the less likely of the two. The other one would, of course, be the RAL LMG. That thing is a beast. Kind of heavy, kind of slow, because obviously it is an LMG, but it hits like a truck. It's super, super strong. And I say that SOAP is probably less likely just because that's a very, very big content addition. That would keep a lot of eyes on Modern Warfare for probably quite some time. A lot of people will be grinding multiplayer, trying to level up the CX-9 and just use the CX-9. Whereas the RAL LMG is just pretty much another DLC weapon. It's not bundled with SOAP, which of course is such a highly anticipated content addition. So from Activision's standpoint, the way I see this playing out is that if they were to go ahead and release the CX-9 and release SOAP simultaneously, that's going to bring a lot of attention away from what we're going to talk about next, which is like the whole teaser scenario and all the previews for Season 4, which we can pretty much expect to happen in the final about 10 days or so of the season. So briefly staying on topic with these weapons and whatnot and the missing Modern Warfare content, sort of similar to how the Psychov dropped. The Psychov dropped when there was like really no content coming out for Cold War or Warzone. We had gone through all the roadmap stuff, so the coming weeks really leaves a prime opportunity for that to come. If I was a betting man, I'd put my odds on the RAW releasing over SOAP and of course the CX-9. I'd prefer to see the CX-9, but really now is probably the best chance for those to drop if that's happening this season. Now, as I just alluded to, we should have some teasers and some content previews coming up for Season 4. This happens at the end of every single season so far. It has happened at the end of every single season, I should say. We've actually got these new like outro cinematics happening for the Cold War / Warzone storyline, where before we just had like the whole seasonal intro cinematic. We got introduced to the storyline for that season, where it was like sort of picking up from the last season, the new operators and all sorts of stuff like that. Now we get multiple story updates all throughout the season, intertwining Cold War with Warzone and everything going on there with Stitch and the hunt for Adler and all that stuff. So we should see an end season cutscene here. Usually, like I said, that happens about 10 days out from the new season launching. And then alongside that, after that ends up releasing, you know, a week out from the new season, 5 days out from the new season, a couple days out from the new season, that's when we start to see things regarding the roadmap, the new multiplayer maps for Cold War, what map changes will be coming to Warzone. We can pretty much expect all that to be happening in the next season. Of course, most of that's just standard seasonal content with new weapons and maps and whatnot, operators, obviously. Map changes we can expect just based off what we've seen so far, but you know, considering this is the first season that we're going to have with the new map in play at the end of this season and the start of next one, things are probably going to be pretty interesting in terms of what's going to change there. We've got all the rumors going around about the red doors. We, of course, had that leak a few days back about the potential island location. Last season, you know, into Season 2, we had a ton of teasers and everything going on for the Destruction of Verdansk event and the new map coming, so that was a very, very spicy time. It's going to be tough to live up to those expectations this time around, but safe to say we are going to be getting some form of new seasonal teasers in about the last week and a half of this season, so that's another thing to expect here in the coming days and weeks. So, you know, overall, we don't really have a ton of actual confirmed content coming. It's really just the AMP63 and then like the weekly playlist updates and story refreshes. But outside of that, there is a lot of potential for a lot of other really cool things to happen as well. Some of it we can pretty much expect and sort of indirectly confirm, like all the new teasers and whatnot. Some of it we can hope for, like the Modern Warfare content and some other changes. But despite there not being a ton of official content, it should be a pretty interesting end to Season 3. But that is going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you haven't already subscribed, we are getting closer and closer to 750,000 subs. So if you want to stay up to date with pretty much everything going on in COD, news, intel updates, all that stuff, feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I upload a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WHosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.